Let's do this. How to make $8,980 in 1 month with high ticket sales. The 3 secrets. So the goal for this podcast episode, number 28 of Expand Your Brand podcast, is to get you to believe in 10 minutes or less that the key to making $8,980 is with high ticket sales. And I'm going to uncover the 3 secrets right here. Secret number 1 is how to copy my high ticket formula to make $8,980. How to use, number 2 is how to use my system to cut your time to success by 85%. And then the third one is how to get ahead of the herd. So let us get into it. Secret number 1 is how to copy my high ticket formula to make $8,980. So I wasn't always into high ticket sales, as one might assume, but I was taught the traditional path to success. In high school, we were never taught to like look into entrepreneurship or any of the such. In my senior year, when I was doing my senior project, I wasn't even allowed to do something on entrepreneurship. I ended up going to a community college right out of high school, having no idea what I wanted to do. And I ended up dropping out about a year and a half in. I moved to Arizona with some buddies, just kind of like on a whim. They were like, "We're moving to Arizona." I was like, "I want to come." I move out there and I end up getting a job with LA Fitness. And I start doing sales there, low ticket sales. I was awful. And I'm still not very good at sales, and I've learned a lot since then. But you don't have to be good at sales. That's like the best part about this. Got a job, yeah, I got that job. But during the time too, I was really just educating myself, and I don't really know how it all started, but I got introduced to some interesting schools of thought. Like I read the book, The 50th Law, or I listened to it. And what else? I was listening to this personal development guy named Elliot Hulse. And then also too, I just learned how to build some muscle, and I've not really been a bodybuilder. I'm more of a yogi now. But I started to learn the importance of not only the information that we input into our bodies, but also just everything that we put into our body or our mind is information. And so it's like an input. And then I learned that it's going to produce some sort of output. So what you put in is what you're going to get out. I ended up really having the idea that I was going to be an entrepreneur. But like, again, I just didn't have any sort of idea of what I wanted to do. And YouTube was actually always kind of an idea, or I always thought it would be a great platform to create like a non-job, as one of my mentors talked about. But I've just kind of like, I don't know, I've had an internal block with it. And I put out videos here and there. I built the Instagram account. Anyways, I actually found out that this is part of the story. It's one of my first posts on Instagram too, is I discovered that water has memory. So this was like the spark of it. And that was the other thing too, is out in Tempe, their tap water was god awful. I remember this one fateful night of drinking. Had a good time, but the next day I was dying. I went into the fridge to grab a bottle of water, and I see there's nothing there, and I feel something coming up. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need something. I go to the sink, I get a glass, and I fill it up, and I take a sip of it, and I don't want to tell you what happens next. So I started actually started getting reverse osmosis from from like up the street, and but I had always heard about like the one of the channels I was listening to talked about alkaline water, and I was like, where do you get this alkaline water from? um, but yeah, I actually did this crazy test where I filled up this glass jug of with water halfway, and then sounds crazy. I talked to it. I said, I love you. And then I did another one saying like I hate you. Because that was like the test. Look it up. Look it up. But I was like I was shook. I was definitely shook when I went into the freezer the next day and I saw these like fractal patterns created on the edge of the jug. At the time, like it was definitely something that I was like I'm saying shook about, but I just knew that it sounded kind of crazy, so I just kind of like kept it to myself, told a couple people, but that was like the extent of that. I ended up going out to California after my other buddies smartened up and decided to go back to Albuquerque and go back to school. But I was like, no, I'm gonna figure something out. I'm gonna figure something out. I have this video of me being like, I'm an entrepreneur, but but you need capital. That was like the big thing. So I ended up meeting temporary defeat when I went out to California, ended up moving back to Albuquerque. And for like a couple months, I was just like in like kind of like purgatory actually. Not I ended up doing what I always do. I went back to the gym. I ended up getting a job back at Define Fitness again. And then this time though, I had a plan. I was gonna go back to school and I was going to get a degree in engineering so that I could secure a job that would provide me with enough cash flow that I could save the money and build up capital to venture on into business. It's in one of these books or these journals, but that was the plan. And I was on the path. I went back to school. I ended up really enjoying math. It sounds crazy, but it was cool because it was just like a problem, and if you got a problem, I can solve it. But I did college algebra, advanced algebra, trigonometry, calculus 1, calculus 2, and then once I got to calculus 3, this is like the true story. I remember sitting in class one day. I turn around and this kid, I overhear him talking. He's like, dude, check this out. I'm like, what is it? He's like showing the other kid a calculator formula and was like, look at this. And I was just like, this is definitely not where I parked my car. Got my bags, got up, walked out of that class, and I never went back. I dropped out that day. And at that time, I was like 23, and I was like, I need to figure out something else. This is just not it. Started going back to the gym, and then I ran into this chick who was carrying around what looked like a big Capri Sun bag, and it said alkaline water on it. And I was like, I found it. I was like, I found it. It took me 3 or 4 years to find it, but I was like, where'd you get that at? So she told me, she gave me the location. I was super pumped. I was like, this is it. This is the sauce. I go to the place. I see a little presentation, like some water testing, and I was like, damn, this is crazy. I got 2 gallons. And then from that point, I was hooked. I started drinking the water religiously every 2 days because the water was best. It's best fresh. So I was traveling from the west side of Albuquerque to the east side, which is like a 20-minute drive just there, and then back like every other day to get this water fresh. because I was just committed. I was all in. I was like, I'm going to be the best that I can be. And I knew that, like I was saying earlier, that the stuff that you are putting into your body is going to have an output. So I was like, I'm all in. I started not started, but I was just going to yoga. My yoga practice was improving. I started eating healthier. I changed my diet. I went vegan. I started just crushing it in sales. I don't do vegan anymore, by the way. But I was just crushing it, feeling amazing, like just all day. And during that time, a couple months, maybe like a month and a half in, I was going to the water place, and I was just seeing other people having crazy benefits from it. I was asking, I was like, "How's the water going?" They're like, "I love it." I was like, "Me too." I see this young man who's just there all the time. I'm just like curious one day. I'm like, "What do you do, man? Like, how do I do what you're doing?" Because he was just doing his thing, man. It was just cool. I was just like, I saw some, I was just inspired by him, really. And I hadn't seen anybody else, or not a lot of them, who I was just like, this guy knows what's up. I asked him how I can do what he does. He tells me that once you have one of the machines that makes the water, you can be an independent distributor. He shows me this comp plan. I'm very confused at it at the time. And he's just like, you can make $340 to $2,040. And at the time, I was like making, I don't know, maybe like $600 every 2 weeks. And I was just like, that's a lot. 340 to 2040. After some counsel with a close buddy who was also on the water, he was loving it. I decided, like, I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna save up some money because they're high ticket items, and I didn't have any credit. I didn't have a savings. It took me a little bit of time, but I ended up putting in an order for my own machine, which is $3,980. I put down $860, and I made payments on it until it was paid off. So, yeah. So I put in my order for my machine, and it was the worst buying experience that I've ever had. The next week, I get a message. My buddy was just like, "Yo, your machine came in," or yeah, my mentor. And I was like, "Bring it over." So they bring it over, they install it, and I have to leave because I have to go back to work to pay for the biggest investment that I made at the time. Later on that day, I get home and I see my dad's truck in the driveway, and I'm just sitting there freaking out. My stomach is like tight. I even actually the next day after I put in the order, I was sick to my stomach. I was like, what did I do? You know, I get home, and then I'm just praying that my dad's like not downstairs. I go in, what do you know? He's in the kitchen. He's like, what is that? I'm just like, it's my water machine. He's like, I was like, you know how the water I've been getting, I got one of the machines. I remember him asking me, he was like, are you renting it? They just put it in here for for like for you. I was like, no, I bought it. He was just like, how much did it cost? I was like, they range in price from about 2,000 to $4,000. And he was like, $4,000. He's like, dude, he's like, nobody's gonna buy these. I've done this. I did this last time. I was like, he was like, nobody's gonna buy these. I was like, I bought them. I bought it. I was like, dude, do me a favor and just drink the water. That was always like the big thing, like not only the entrepreneurship, but I come from a family who on both sides have just suffered from, you name it, like mainly like cancer and just sickness. And I knew that like with our tendencies that we need all the help we can get to combat any negative things that are going into our bodies or into our minds. So I was like, man, just drink the water, please. And it took a while, honestly, to get them to drink the water, but now they're on the sauce. They're on the sauce. I end up showing them a demo that night. I lay out the cups, and that was the other thing too, is I bought all the tools that you need to be a distributor. I bought a bucket, I bought a meter to test the water, and laid out the cups, filled them with water, and I attempted to blow their minds like mine had been blown, and all the other people that I was seeing, and their eyes just glazed over. I realized I had no idea what I was doing. I did the same thing for my aunt and my uncle. A couple weeks later, same thing. I did a better demo, but they didn't buy, and I was just like, because I just didn't have a system. I had no idea what I was doing, and at that point, I was just crushed. I ended up just falling off of everything. I was still drinking the water, still giving it to my buddy who was on it at the time as well. And I fell off for like 3 or 4 months. Like I instantly quit. And then yeah, started drinking again, partying again. And then one in like December of 2017, Instagram launched its latest feature, Instagram Stories. I click on Tim's profile, the guy that I bought the machine from. I saw him in California at one of the Enagic events, and he was receiving an award for hitting the next rank in the company. I remember when he first started, he was a 4A, or like when I bought my machine from him, he was a 4A, which meant that he had 21 to 50 sales. And now he was at the next rank, which is 5A, which is 51 to 100 sales, and he can now collect $1,700 for the purchase of this machine. And I was like, damn, I was like, this guy's still hitting it. I've just been dicking around for the past 4 months. Like, what am I doing? I hit him up I'm like, dude, I need help, man. I want to do this, but I need a mentor. He texts me, he sends me some like paperwork. He's like, read this. I'm like, nah, man, I'm more of a hands-on learner. I need an apprenticeship. He tells me to meet him at the shop, and then from there, 2018, I had the goal to reach 6A, and yeah, and then after that, we just hit it. But that was only the beginning. That was only the beginning. So yeah, so the best part about that is now I have a high ticket item, and it doesn't have to be an Enagic, but like I would recommend finding something that is of value. And that's like the cool thing about these products is like most of the people who buy the machines, they just want it just for the water. The most 90% of people are what we would call end users. They just want the product for the product. The second thing is how to use my system to cut your time to success by 85%. So we just go and start hitting it. We have no idea what we were doing. We started to learn social media. We started reading books. We went to some of the top earners companies' house for training. And honestly, like we were still not seeing very much success. And and the plan was to like get people to get machines. So so in 2020, I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna stop right there. So the secret one is how to cut your time to success by 85%. This took me 4 years to do. And during the time that I did it, I did end up getting to the top rank of 6A. I got my title incentive bonus, which is $3,000. And what I've done with all that is I've dumped all my money back into my self-education and just creating this hybrid system that I've been talking about. And that's like the thing. It doesn't have to be used for the water, but this system will just cut your time to success by 85%. And the third secret is how to get ahead of the herd, because like I'm telling you, right now is the best time to, like, I think I might have said it, but like what successful people do is they check things out. So if you check it out now, I promise you, you're going to be ahead of a massive herd who's going to want the system, honestly. But that is it for this video for today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. And I got my links down below. If you want to get more into this, I have the free training. Just message me on Instagram saying ready. And then I have my links to all the books that I recommend below as well. But that is it. Thanks again, guys. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a good day.